Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? Man, Friday. The last Friday for a little while. You know, just the last one for a while. I'm gonna be busy trying to get some better stuff going on this platform. But hey, did make it to this one. Thank goodness. What's happening? How's everybody? Um, Man, I'm here. You know what? It's funny when I come on this thing. You know, every day is just so full of so much stuff. Every day is so full of so much. It's like, you kind of try to get prepared for the evening, for doing this. And all the way up until it's time to come on, there's just crazy stuff going on. More and more and more crazy stuff. And it ain't nothing you can do about it. Nothing but buckle up. Buckle up. I mean, we got an aircraft carrier in the Caribbean now. Ha 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 ha. How crazy is that? How crazy is that? But before I get started, I got one for the slick women out there. All the slick ladies. I got a couple of clips that, doggone it, tickled me to death. Uh, Check these out right quick, just before we get started.
Yeah, it's super nice. I love it. How much is it gonna be?
It's gonna be $100.
100.
Yes.
I don't. That's a little expensive. I don't.
You want me to pay for you?
Please. You're so sweet.
Yes, I had an appointment.
She thought she was slick. She done got the tattoo and then don't want to pay for it. My man said, you want me to pay for it for you? And grabbed her shit. I love it. Trying to be slick. And hey, and them slick one comes in all color, all shapes, flavors, all kinds, everything. Now here's one. Well, old girl, she on the phone dogging my man out, talking about what he ain't gonna get while she waiting to chomp on some good shit. Check it out.
That's it, nothing but a friend. He'll never see it, touch it, taste it, none of that. I gotta go. I'll call you back when I get done. All right, then. I'm about to shit. What the hell?
What?
What's this? I said,
That wasn't the crab bag. That was the fucking bag. This the friend bag. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I love it. I love it. She got the friend back since he's just a friend. An old girl on the phone, I'm assuming, with her girlfriend. Talking about he ain't gonna touch it, see it, taste it, nothing. I guess you won't be eating no crab boil tonight either. That tickled me to death. Just tickled me to death. I love it. Them old slick ass women. They sure try to get away with some shit. Oh my goodness. That's funny. But okay. Enough of the bullshit. I gotta tell you, that tickles me. Oh my goodness. Whew. Anyway, so we got all kind of stuff going on. I'm gonna jump right into the farmers and the cattlemen. The cattle, for some reason, people call them cattle farmers. I don't think they're considered farmers. I think they're cattlemen. But these cattlemen, they pissed, and they got a good reason to be pissed. They got a real good reason to be pissed. Hey, what's up? What's going on, man? How's it going? They got a reason to be pissed. These cattlemen have been, for a long time, the herds have been getting thinned out in this country. And it's basically because of a lack of market. You know, the prices of beef was not that high. The prices of beef was not that high. And when the price of beef is low, they tend to sell a lot of it, and it depletes the herds. Okay? It depletes the herds. They ain't making the big profits. They making a little money, but not a whole bunch like they like. Well, as the herds get depleted, that's when the price starts coming up, because for some reason in America, the less you have of something, the more it costs. I don't know where you get that idea from, but hey, that's how it is in America. They seem to have captivated our brains on that one. You know, the less I have of something, the less I can do anything with it. You know? So I don't know how the less you have, you get to charge more. Anyway. So now that the herds are a little thinned out and they charging more for beef. That's the way the capital market goes. But no. Trump thinks he's going to jump in and just be the guy and jump in. His tariffs is fucking everything up. And now he's talking about buying beef from Argentina. So you just gave Argentina $40 billion. $40 billion. $40 billion. And Argentina's been undercutting the American crop farmers, selling to China when China won't buy from America. And you gave them $40 billion. Okay. And now you're going to buy beef from Argentina. Well, let's listen to one of the Cattleman Association guys and listen to what he's got to say about it.
Plan to buy more beef from Argentina is getting seared by American cattle ranchers. A White House official telling CNN the administration plans to let more beef from Argentina onto the shelves at American stores to help lower record prices on beef here in the U.S. And now President Trump is facing backlash from U.S. cattle ranchers to Republican farm state lawmakers. Here's White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt responding.
The President loves our ranchers and he also loves American consumers, and he wants to do right by both. So the immediate solution to the problem of the rising cost of beef, the President wants to bring that down, is we have to increase our supply. And so that's what he's doing with respect to these imports.
We're joined now by Buck Wehrbein. He is the president of the National Cattlemen's Beef Association. Buck, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you, Brianna. Happy to be here.
And you hear the president, he says American ranchers, quote, have to get their prices down. How is that landing with cattle ranchers?
Well, it's deeply concerning to all the producers out here because we have spent generations improving the genetics and the processes that we use and the feed that we use and so forth, to where we produce the best and most high quality product ever here, and the price is up because the herd is down, and so more supply will cause the price to go down. However, the problem is, as the president talks about this, his rhetoric is heard by our markets, like our futures markets, and they respond immediately and violently, which impacts us directly and immediately, but has no impact on the retail, what the consumer buys. And so it's misguided. We understand what he's trying to do, but it's misguided because it's hurting us and not helping the consumer. It'll take a long time for the price to come down in the grocery store.
Yeah, explain that timeline. How long would it take? What can cattle ranchers do to get the price down, as you do have this issue with herds being small?
Correct. The herd is small because of lack of feed, drought, things like that, input costs going up. And part of it, a lot of it, quite a bit, is uncertainty. And uncertainty comes from things like overregulation and also uncertainty with the markets, which, of course, we're talking about happening with the president's rhetoric. And so the market will cause the herd to be rebuilt, and it is by high prices. The old saying in the markets are high prices, are the cure for high prices is high prices. So this will happen naturally. We want it to occur naturally, not be manipulated.
Do you see consumers turning away from beef? There's some reporting that demand has plateaued as we've seen record high prices. Are you seeing that?
Well, I'm not an economist, Brianna, but what I see and hear from the people that are is that the demand remains strong. We all know you can only go up so far, and cattlemen are professional warriors, and we worry about that, of course. But the demand for our product, because of what I was saying earlier, the quality of it so far has remained very, very strong. Remember, people don't have to buy beef. There are other proteins that they can choose from, and yet they continue to buy ours.
Well, imagine that. You know, I can imagine people still buying beef. You know, people still buy cars when the price of cars go up. People still go on vacations when the price of vacations go up. So, you know, for this guy to be out there buying stuff from Argentina, there's something behind that, just like giving them $40 billion. There's something behind them talking about buying beef from Argentina. Now, I've heard that there are certain things that what can I say? Like certain worms and stuff that are starting to be found in the beef in all of Latin America, in the southern half of America. And there's something called I can't remember the name of it. There's a new kind of worm that they've been finding, and it's spreading south. And that's a concern with bringing beef from down there. And they've always had some issues with some of the beef from the Argentine region, from what I understand. But that said, you know, he's killing his guys. He's killing his guys up here. Yeah, an absolute mindless society. Brother, let me tell you, talk about mindless. Talk about mindless. You know, it's so much. And, you know, right in the beginning, when we was talking about Project 2025, and I was going through and explaining certain stuff in Project 2025, I was explaining how in some of the pages they said how they was just going to flood the system. They're going to flood the system, overwhelm the system with shit. Boy, they off and running. They're off and running. Now, right now, okay, all of these cattlemen voted for this dude. All of these farmers voted for this dude. All these people voted for this guy. He done tore half the White House down. Okay? Now, he done tore half the White House down. Are these people happy? These people don't seem like they happy. Why ain't they happy? You know? Now, my recommendation is pain. I love what the Democrats are doing. So I hope they holding out. But these farmers need to understand the weight of their actions. I hope these farmers get to understand the weight of their actions, because that's the only time. See, in the past, like the past Trump administration, he put the tariffs on and immediately went to digging in your pocket and mine and paying the farmers. They getting what they voted for. Yeah, hell yeah, they getting what they voted for. But understand why they did it again. See, and why this time seems to be different. The last time they voted for him, he put tariffs on, they got crushed, and he immediately started sending out checks. See, they got checks the last time, lickety split. They got checks just like that. I'm going to take care of the farmers with your money in mine, okay? Now, the farmer could have been selling shit overseas, but he couldn't sell it because of the tariffs, so he went in my pocket and yours and sent it to the farmers. And they cool with that, cool. You paid my shit off and I'm good, all right. Well, after him, Joe Biden comes in, and Joe Biden helps them build their market back up. Now, they got a nice market going. Now, it's not back to where it was, but it's getting there, okay? It's getting there. They got 3/4 maybe of it back. What this dude does, he gets in and does the same thing again. Campaign don't doing it. And guess what? Here's the twist. The plot thickens, okay? The plot thickens. This time, Congress is not in session to vote on any money to pay any farmers. Congress is nowhere around to vote on any money to pay farmers anything. So, hey, now the farmers is sitting over there like, oh shit, Donald, help us. We need money. We need help. The tariffs killing us. Yeah, I hope they choke your ass to death. And unfortunately, just like last time, some of the farmers are taking it really bad because they're losing everything. And a lot of people can't take losing everything. So they do something drastic, and it's really not good, what they're doing. And I feel bad for them. Feel bad for them, But it is what it is. That's what you voted for. That is what you voted for. And I think it's a shame. I think that there is, the thought that people should be starting to feel the pain. That's where I'm trying to go with this. Is catching on amongst the reporters and writers out there. The thought that they should maybe need to feel the pain because of who they voted for, that thought is starting to become a popular thought. And I've been saying it from the jump. I've been saying it. Soon as he start choking their ass, they need to feel the pain. And y'all know how we've talked about the Democrats when they signed that first continuing resolution earlier in the spring. When they bailed and signed it then, we said they better not sign it in the fall. They better hold out because they got fucked all over the summer. They got fucked all summer. The Republicans fucked them all day, every day summer, during the summer. So now Now it's time for a continuing resolution. Now the Democrats are holding out. Now the farmers is scared to death. Oh, and wait a minute. SNAP benefits finna not be paid. Wait a minute. They not gonna pay SNAP benefits? What the hell? Now, let's understand something about SNAP benefits. Let's assume on November 1st, the SNAP benefits don't go out. That's going to be a lot of people not getting benefits. And there has been a rush on pantries because I was driving today and I saw some lines at food pantries today like you would not believe. And if I had been there earlier, I would have got in one of them myself. But I've seen some lines today like you would not believe. So one of the first things that happens, what happens when people's SNAP benefits ain't there? Well, they can't go to the grocery store, right? Imagine the thousands upon thousands of people who are not going to be at the grocery store. What is that going to do to the grocery store? That's one thing we never think about. If those thousands and thousands of people are not at the grocery store, what's going to happen to the grocery store? Okay, what's going to happen with the guy delivering stuff to the grocery store? Okay, what's going to happen to all of the businesses in the area near the grocery store? This is going to have an impact like you would not believe. Okay? Like you would not believe. So if those benefits don't go out, and you want to talk about high prices? You want to talk about high prices? This about to get crazy. Check this out. But here's, I forget his, God dog it, I forgot his name that fast. But another opinion about whether or not the people need to feel the pain. The people that voted for this guy need to feel the pain. Let's check it out.
This is going to sound callous, but there's an extent to which I think that maybe voters ought to feel some pain if the Republican Party cannot get it together enough to pass a continuing resolution. I think one of the dynamics over the past decade of America, past 15 years of American politics, has been a profoundly irresponsible Republican Party, a Republican Party that is almost completely abdicated any serious attempt to govern the country, and then being bailed out by a Democratic Party that feels, rightfully I suppose, an obligation to govern the country. And the effect of that in terms of the message it sends to the public is that there are no costs involved in electing anti-government maniacs. There are no costs that you can elect them in an affective way, right? Sort of, I want to express my anger and disdain at the system, knowing that the other side is going to feel some responsibility to make sure things don't get too out of hand. But what if you just let them get too out of hand? What if you say, you know what? This is what you voted for. This is what you wanted. And this is what you're going to get. And don't try to bail out the Republican Party from its dysfunction and its inability to govern. Will that hurt regular people? Yes, it will. Does sometimes, in the same way that sometimes your kid has to fall off their bike to learn how to ride it better, does the public need to touch the stove, to borrow a phrase that went around earlier this year, in order to figure out not to put these people back in the office? I think so.
Right. Right. That's what usually happens. The Republicans are the most reckless people in the world. They're so reckless and feckless that they never actually try to govern. All they've done for the last 15 or 20 years is try and gum up everything. And it works so good. Listen to this. Listen to this. Here's how Republicans do it. They go out and campaign every cycle and tell their people how terrible government is and how government does not work. Government does not work for you. It's awful. Vote for me. Now, they never say they're going to do anything to make it better. They just tell them people how bad it is. And it's the Democrats' fault. And they immediately get elected and go right to work trying to destroy the government from the inside. They go in and they just pick at it and destroy it and talk crazy. And they obstruct everything that Obama tried to do. Remember Mitch McConnell? Our number one duty for the next 4 years is to make Obama a one-term president. Not help the country. Not do anything for the American people. Make sure Obama can't get reelected. That's his number one goal. And you can come up in front of a camera and say that, and they'll vote for you again. That's how crazy and reckless the Republican Party is. And every time they wreck it for 4 years, the Democrats come in, fix it. When Obama got in, we was heading into the worst recession we had in a long time. What happened? Obama comes in, fixes it. Trump comes in and immediately lies to the American people and say, I inherited a mess. Now, if you look at the economic numbers and the job numbers over Obama's 8 years, his 8 years, it's a constant move up. It's a gradual move up. And this guy comes in and says, I inherited a mess. No, you didn't. Same thing with Joe Biden. Great economy going up. Everything's going back up after a Republican, or a so-called Republican, Trump. What does Trump do? I inherited a mess. Well, look at where we are now. Look at where we are now. We got an aircraft carrier in the Caribbean. We got the military, we got the Navy and the Coast Guard firing on boats in the Caribbean and in the Pacific without any kind of warning, no nothing, just kill them. We got a man talking about just going into Venezuela and killing people. We just gonna send our people into Venezuela and start killing. Really? And explain to me how that helps America. Explain to me just how that helps America. We got half a White House. At least as of coming on tonight, we got half White House. I don't know. By the time I get off of here, we may only have a third of a White House. I don't know. But hey, I say yes. I say we let them start to feel the pain that they have caused. I say Democrats stay out. I say, hey, if Trump cuts off the SNAP, let him cut off the SNAP benefits. I even hear an anonymous donor just donated $130 million to pay the troops. An anonymous donor, $130 million so we can pay the troops. Yeah, okay, an anonymous donor. The same way we got donors donating to the ballroom, it went from 250 billion to 300 billion. I guess it was another 50 billion to tear the east wing off the building. Yeah, okay. Crazy. Oh, and let's not forget. Oh, we've caught some NBA players cheating, illegal gambling houses, playing poker, illegal poker. And we got Chauncey Billups and everybody caught up, and they're in cahoots with the mafia. Now, funny about that, all I seen was 3 black guys getting arrested and, and being, on camera and stuff. That's the only pictures I seen. I ain't seen no mafia faces. Anybody seen any mafia faces on TV? I ain't seen the Gambinos nowhere. Any mafia faces anybody seen? I haven't seen any. Where they at? Since these is they in cahoots with the mafia. Show me how you arrested some of the mafia guys. Yeah, they are gumming up the works. This Project 2025 is right on schedule. I mean, they keeping the system full of garbage. But there is one ray of sunshine. Okay, and I'm going to let you know what that is here in a second. The one ray of sunshine is the fact that, like I said, a judge has ruled that the cops in different jurisdictions, like say in Chicago, the cops can arrest ICE if they break Illinois law. And that idea seems to be catching on a little bit because, lo and behold, check this out.
Looks like Democrats are finally fighting back. Nancy Pelosi just issued this warning to President Trump in San Francisco. While the president may enjoy absolute immunity courtesy of his rogue Supreme Court, those who operate under his orders do not. Our state and local authorities may arrest federal agents if they break California law, and if they are convicted, the president cannot pardon them. This is how I want Democrats to fight back. How about you?
Sounds good to me. And hey, let's check this out. Let's assume the cops in Chicago and out in San Francisco start arresting ICE agents that they see breaking the law. And in Chicago, they just put together a task force to keep an eye out to see if they're breaking the law. So if they get arrested, now guess what? Trump can't get you out of jail. Okay? Trump can't pardon you from that. All right? If you break state law, now you running around thinking you a fed. See, we always assume all the cops like all the cops, but that's not true. All the cops don't like all the cops. Some cops don't like the other cops. Okay? So I think that would be one magnificent thing if they start getting arrested in these jurisdictions, okay? And have to actually deal with it, A black admiral of the Navy was involved in the Navy, blowing up those boats and stepped down. Citing moral and legal concerns. As a matter of fact, what is his name? He had a name that sounded something like Nimitz. I can't think of his name, but yes, Black Admiral did step down from the Navy. a black 4-star admiral at that. Okay, that's rear admiral status right there. That's when you're making the big bucks. But yeah, he stepped down, and rightly so, because guess what? This shit that they doing is illegal, and he knows it, and he's not stupid, because the next president that comes in can hold every last military person liable for this illegal shit they doing. See, this goes back to the question I was asking early on. If this guy gives these military people an order to just go out and do something, will they do it? And these fools are doing it. You know, they got some that have been screened and loyalty tested. Okay, you know how the chain of command goes in the military. And the chain has worked its way down and did its loyalty testing. So those that are firing on boats out in the water, out in the oceans, have been loyalty tested. The thing about it is, I don't think that goes throughout the entire military. I don't think they all have, and this admiral that retired proves it. This admiral that retired, that just shows you that everybody ain't on board with this. Everybody's not on board with it. So the fact that he has done that tells a story. That tells a story. So I don't want a whole bunch of people to resign and get out of the service, because I think we need those people in the service that can fight from within, that can let the people know what's going on from within. I think that's what needs to happen. I think we need them to stay in as best that they can. But yes, this admiral has proven that there are those with some integrity and not going to get caught up in the shit. This admiral knows that, first of all, he's a black admiral. He knows that. He's like, there's no way after this is over and the smoke clears, there's no way you're going to hang my ass out to dry. He knows that you are liable for breaking the law. You can't say I was following orders. That don't work. That I was just following orders shit never worked. When you get in front of a military tribunal, and I think they're going to have one when this is over with. And when you get in front of that and they asking you, so why did you fire on that boat instead of pulling it over and boarding it? You could have pulled the boat over and boarded it and checked it for drugs and checked it to see if they were drug dealers and all of that. When that question gets asked, you can't say I was following orders. They're going to say, oh, okay, well, step right over here to this cell. We're going to put you in this cell before we take you out in front of this firing squad. But I never would have thought these fools would do that shit. That's the killer. I never thought these idiots would go this far for this madman. I only hope this comes back and bites the shit out of him. And I think it will, because when you've got people this crazy, the one thing about it is most of them are so crazy that they're not going to be able to cooperate together. This has been what I've seen in the past. They can be so insane that they can't cooperate they can't stick together, for instance, one case in point, Rand Paul, who is crazy as a Betsy bug, and yours truly, Marjorie Taylor Greene. These two people are making sense today. That's right. I said it. Rand Paul and Marjorie Taylor Greene are out there making sense. And right now, the Republican Party is trying to eat them alive. The MAGA groups are trying to eat them alive. They're talking about primarying Marjorie Taylor Greene and Rand Paul because they're out there telling the truth. You cannot tell the truth if you're part of MAGA. And who would have thought Marjorie Taylor Greene would be telling the truth about anything? But that just goes to show you. They so crazy that they'll eat each other alive. And I fully suspect this will continue. I think MAGA is falling apart as we speak. I think it is falling apart. And the only thing that needs to happen is the Democrats need to stay out. MAGA voters need to feel what they voted for. They need to feel it, and I mean feel it good. And like my man said, like Mr. Bowie said, there's going to be some good people get jacked up. We might all get jacked up. But we getting jacked up anyway. Okay? We getting jacked up anyway. So it might as well choke the shit out of the people that caused this. Okay? Might as well choke the hell out of the people that caused this. Just let it choke them. Let all of this stuff that they did, they voted for, choke them. They voted for all of this. Let it choke them. Because check this out. You got that aircraft carrier out there in the middle of the Caribbean right now. What's the aircraft carrier doing in the Caribbean? Really? Now, what happens when Venezuela says, okay, enough is enough. I know you're going to beat me down, but I'm going to kill some of you motherfuckers before you get me. How many Americans going to die because this fool just want to start some shit in Venezuela so he can have some conflict going, so he can say, okay, we can't have an election during conflict. We know that's what this is all about. He's trying to start some shit somewhere. And you know what? You'll hear me a lot of times ask, where's God, when all of this is going on? What's God doing? What's he up to? And I got one question. Could it be God is out there right now stopping the conflicts from catching hold? Could that be? Could that be what he's up to? He might be just busy stopping that to do anything else around the world. I don't know. But I'm going to say this. By the grace of God, nobody has failed for the okie doke that Trump is out there doing. Everybody recognizes he's trying to start a conflict somewhere on purpose so he can run it out, so he can say, okay, we can't have an election during a conflict. This is the plan. And nobody's falling for it yet. I only hope that can last. What I hope is these police start arresting these ICE motherfuckers. I hope, because they're out there doing illegal shit. You can't kick somebody door in without no search warrant. They out there kicking people's doors in with no search warrant at all. Just going in people's houses, ransacking the house, bust people windows open in their car, bust the window out, drag somebody out in the street, didn't have a warrant, just saw a brown face. You see a brown face, pull the car over, bust the window out and drag a guy out the car. Where they do that at? I hope they start getting arrested. I hope they start getting arrested. We'll see. We will see. Anywho, it's Friday, and I figured that was worth mentioning. The one thing that really got me real concerned is this aircraft carrier in the Caribbean, Because, first of all, aircraft carriers never travel alone, okay? Aircraft carriers never travel alone. Yeah, that would be a good thing, man, if they start arresting them fools. Aircraft carriers always travel in groups. They got carrier groups. And usually the other carriers in that group will be, they're not coming into the Caribbean. But there is a battle group with the carrier. You have a carrier with a battle group, and then that battle group is part of a carrier group. So there's a battle group with this carrier going into the Caribbean. That's a lot of destruction. That's a lot of opportunity for mistake. That's a lot of opportunity for us to be put in a real bad position around the world. I just hope calmer heads prevail. Yeah. I just hope there's calmer heads out there. 'Cause I can understand them telling the commander, hey, we want to take, battle group such and such this way. The commander-in-chief wants this, All right, we got orders to steam in the Caribbean. I hope they got sense enough not to be out there firing on people like the first fools that's been out there. I think it's like up to 6 or 7 boats now they done blew out of the water. They've been out there murdering people. And that's what it is. They out there murdering people. I hope this battle group does not get involved in that. We'll find out. We'll find out. So much crazy stuff going on. I just hope. See, I'm counting the days. I'm counting the days of this shutdown. I needed to get past November. I need to, we got one more week in October. I need this to get past November. Get into November. Because that's when the hands gonna be real tight around the throat. See, when them hands, them fists get good and clenched around the throat. See, that's when you're gonna see the reckoning. See, when they start getting their air choked off. See, when they start feeling the pain of being without. Okay? When they start getting them letters, they done started getting them letters already because it's the 3rd week in October now. So they getting the letters now that's saying your premium on January is going to be triple what you've been paying. They starting to get them letters right now. Okay? Because open enrollment starts like the 4th, I believe, of November. So them letters is in the mail. And when they see them letters saying 3 times as much, why? Because you got no Obamacare subsidy. There's no ACA subsidy to help you pay this medical bill, this medical premium. Them letters is in the mail now, and they getting them. See? Now, you add that to the possibility of no SNAP going out. November is going to tell the story. November going to tell the story. And I still have not seen, I haven't seen any of MAGA talking about this half a White House we got now, or this third of a White House. Let's say a third. We got 2/3 of a White House left. A third of it has been torn down. And there is a theory that I'm going to share with y'all Monday about this ballroom. There's a theory, and it's pretty damn plausible. I'll share that with you Monday. So you got to come back Monday to get that theory. But we need to get into November. We need to get past this week, get into November, so we can see what MAGA is going to do if they actually start to understand, the problems they've caused. We'll find out. Well, that's all I got. Glad to be here and glad to be alive. This will be the last Friday for a while. Be back Monday for sure, though. And we'll stay tuned. We'll stay tuned. I hope these people start to wake up. Oh, and I forgot one other thing. I did have a treat. I'm gonna do that Monday. I wanted to show you this guy, and I forgot. Doggone it, just came to me. This guy, it's called the Necessary Conversation Podcast. You can look it up. I had a couple of clips. I got a few more clips. I want to put together a montage of them. He interviews his parents, and if you heard his parents, wow. Anyway, I'll try to do that Monday too. I'm sorry, I meant to do that today, but it slipped my noggin. But anyway, we'll have a theory on that ballroom Monday, and we'll try to get that Monday and see whatever happens over the weekend. So anyway, I appreciate you hanging out. I'm out of here. Have a good weekend. Be safe. Be safe. Keep your head on a swivel. Talk to you later. Take it easy.